Alright guys, so I went ahead this morning, I finished primering all of my small parts. I had a little bit left over and I threw it on the quarter panel here. But I've got some 2" by 2" square tube, the same stuff I made the dolly out of. And I've got it spaced and everything to where the car's sitting level. And I've just got it spanning across here. Holding the body up in the there. Let me get up here. Across there, sitting on the pads. I'm doing it this way so I can get in here and work on the metal work after I get everything sprayed. But I'm gonna turn the heater on now and let this thing sit out here for an hour or so and warm up, and then I'll go through and start spraying everything. But yeah, you can see now. You can see all the way through the other side of the car. Outer rocker and inner rocker. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and start tearing it on, getting it heated up, and getting everything ready to primer. I'll bring y'all back when I start spraying on this thing, but I'm gonna spray all up inside as much as I can reach. And I know this is going to take, I've got a half gallon of primer left, and I figure this will take every bit of that. We'll see. But anyways, it's going to look good when it's all done. Well, either I didn't press record, or the file that did show that I did have is not there. It's not wanting to load. So anyways, I got pretty much all the parts that I needed to primered. The parts that I didn't need to primer, you know, all the rusty pieces, I left bare so I can go ahead and start cutting into that. And that's probably where I'll start. I'll probably just start either at the back here or at the front and work my way forward. But then again, I might go ahead and start working on those rocker panels. I'll start trying to video more of the metal work once I get into it. Got everything, looks nice, I can start working on all the metal and getting everything situated, and then I'll start doing, you know, all the Bondo and glazing. A lot of this stuff really just needs a little bit of glazing, not much. But yeah, I think it's gonna look good. It'll straighten up. I've also started on the tail light assemblies. I put some body filler last night. Oh man! I put some body filler last night in those grooves that were on the tail light assembly. Filling those in because of the corrosion. I actually took a Dremel with a carbide burr and sort of ran around inside there, cleaned out that corrosion, and then started putting body filler in. And so I am, you know, modifying the aesthetic of that, but I don't think it's really going to matter that much unless you are a AMC, you know, guru. You probably won't even notice that it's been smoothed over. Alright guys, tonight I'm sort of letting the body just stay out there and stay warm, but I'm working on the rear tail light section. What I've done is I've taken and like I said, there was that groove that ran all the way along the rim here, and it was just pitted really bad with corrosion, and that you can see that from the outside. So I took a diamond burr, went through that entire groove, cleared out all the corrosion. You know, these are cast pieces and they're plated, so there's really nothing I can really do with it other than sending them off, have them cleaned up, replated, but even then it's still not going to work. So what I opted to do, because pretty much the rest of the outside of it's fine, it was just that grooved area, I went and filled it full of filler, and I'm smoothing it off now, and you can see that, you know, there's still a dip in it. So I'm going to take some glazing filler now. I've already got the center section and the one side done, and I'm working on the other side right now, getting it cleaned up, and then I'll take some fine filler, fill in that groove again, let it dry overnight, then come back and hit it with sandpaper then, since it won't be as thick as this. And from that point on, then I can work on filling in that one hole on each side and then spraying these. Like I said, I'm going to rough these up and spray them with that epoxy primer black. I'm going with a complete, blackout almost car. There might be a few chrome accents here and there, but other than a few parts, I'm going to black out a lot of it. But, if these would have been decent, I might have kept them chrome, but it's just, there's a lot of corrosion on this car, which is, it's fine. I'm working with it. You're not going to find a set of these, and if you do, they're going to be super expensive, like over $1,000 for a set of rear taillight assemblies. And even then, you're getting, used old stock stuff, whatever, and chances of getting a good set is not good. So instead of spending a ton of money on having these things reworked, whatever, having it replated, I'm just going to do what I want to do and get them flattened out. This will flatten out nice, and then spray them black. And that epoxy primer will seal in all this corrosion and stuff. And so, I got to flatten this here out. This is some putty I put over corrosion, some compound. Same thing on the top side there. And like I said, I've got new gaskets that go around in here that those lamps seal on. But these will come out nice. I just gotta get all that glazing done and all the little holes filled, and they'll look okay. And you'll never see pretty much anything from this lip right here out is the only thing you'll see, and this lip right here out. Everything else, pretty much the lamp, the red lamp bezel, it hides most of all this on the inside, but I might as well try to get it all cleaned up at least, so we won't have to worry about the corrosion again. But I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll show y'all tomorrow, hopefully, a final product. And I've got new sockets that fit in these coming in. So I've got one for this side, one for the other side, and then one for the center section. The ones for the sides are a 3-wire for ground, blinker, and park light, brake. And then this one right here is just a 2-wire, one for ground, one for reverse light. So we'll get to it. All right, so I went ahead and finished, and you can see the line. That center line is the body filler. And it's just 2 different colors of body filler. The darker colors, the original ones that I used, and then the lighter colors, the finer compound to fill in all the holes. So I'm fixing to take and I've sanded these down real good, and I've filled in those spots where the pitting was, and so I'm fixing to blow these off and then epoxy primer them. But yeah, looking a lot nicer. That's a nice smooth, instead of having that groove in it, which was just decorative, but it had all that pitting. Now all that's cleared up, and once I get that primer on there, you'll never be able to see that line. These things are actually smooth. And after I get everything primered and set for the set and dried, then I'll put them all together and we'll start cleaning the lenses and getting all that stuff done. But it's going to look really nice. And then, but I'm going to get these primered and we'll continue on. Alright, so right here is sort of a mock-up finish of what it's going to look like. Like I said, I went ahead and sprayed that black yesterday with the epoxy primer. I've got a few little things I need to manipulate on it. There's fitment things here and there. I still got to get everything in completely. But So this is the center section, then your two outers. Like I said, you'll still have the rear tail light reverse, and then you'll just have the one connector on either side. So used to you would have a bulb, then the reverse bulb, and then two more bulbs. Well, now you just got the entire array, LED array, and then just one a socket goes up in there, and then it just plugs into it. And then you have the one red hot wire that's battery hot all the time. I think that is for memory for the LED board. But like I said, I'm just going to put a grommet plug in here, and the one that I don't, and the ones that I don't need, and that will solve that issue. Something else. These didn't come with these. I had to get new ones of these. My other ones were busted up, cracking. I believe I was mistaken. Those are there. If you look on the light, you see how it's got holes in it. So these are here had little clips, and they would sit in there like such. If I can get it to stay. Anyways, it would sit in there, and then your center one also. My center one was missing. I'm sure I could probably get it. I don't think I'm going to go back with this though, since I'm doing blacked out anyway. I'm going to leave those off. And what I'm probably going to do, and this is the only thing that makes sense to me, is I'm going to countersink these right here to whatever the head size is. I'm going to get a black oxide coated stainless steel, what they call it, a shallow head socket cap screw. I'm going to countersink it, and I'm going to thread that right there, and I'm going to sink it down into it. And I'm just going to do that, and what you'll see is it'll be like more like a, I don't know what a hot rod, not a hot rod, a rat rod style, like where you see bolts everywhere on it, decorative bolts. So that's my thought, is decorative bolts on all these holes, which I've got, what is it, 16 of them I have to fill, because there's 16 of those spots. That was one option I'm thinking. I think that would look kind of cool, The other option is I take these lenses back out, I put tape across this entire front side here, flip them over. I clear out these holes first, flip them over with the tape on it, and then I pour epoxy in from the back and let it fill in. If I let it fill in, then I ain't got to worry about the holes anymore. But what you'll see is I can do clear here, and then I can tint some red, but I don't know if I'll be able to get the tint exactly right, or I can just leave these clear. I don't know how it would look, But those are some options, and I'm thinking over. Like I said, I still got a little bit of work to do. You can see, you can still see a little bit of holes, but what'll happen is when I put some more high build primer on this, I can fill those holes in. But I sprayed the back of it, and then this whole taillight assembly, it's held in or held together. You got these two plates here, and it's got these I don't know what you call it, what kind of nuts you call those. They're not really, they're self-tapping nuts. But I've got to put some sealer across here. You're supposed to seal that up, and then these taillight lenses get sealed in. They also have a gasket on the inside, and then there's a gasket that runs this entire way around the entire taillight assembly to seal it off the trunk. And then it's, if I'm thinking correct, you put the two outside ones in first, and then the center, well, no, it's here. No, sorry, center one goes in first. It's got a tab that sticks over, so your center one goes in first, and then your outside ones go in, and then you connect them and bolt them to the car. And so it's actually held in there pretty good. You're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts, and 4 more of these center caps. But anyways, yeah, I'm not going to run those. They call them eggshell crates or egg crates. I'm not going to run those. I mean, if there was, And they're plastic. That's the other thing. They're plastic. And this one right here is broke anyway. One of them was broke right here. And they're just plastic. And I'm not going to run that. I'll figure out something else for that. But I think that looks really nice with that the blacked out look and not having that ring around it with all that corrosion. But that's where I'm at right now. Got some other stuff to do today, but I will get this video out and we'll continue on. And once I finalize the whole situation, I'll put all of this stuff together. I've got the sockets for this right here. We'll put it all together and we'll do a test of the tail lights. Anyways, you guys have a good one. Bye.